Hey Flatirons Church, you're about to watch a brief update video that we, the Sozo team, have put together in regards to what's happening over in Afghanistan. But as the executive director of Sozo International, I just wanted to give my own unique, personalized thank you to you, Flatirons Church. You may not realize this, but there's actually a long, deep, rich history between Sozo International and Flatirons. It goes back years. The impact that you have had, the impact that you've been part of in the country of Afghanistan, in the lives of so many families, and in the futures of so many individuals. I just cannot express to you enough how grateful we are for the way that we have journeyed together in truly being a catalyst for hope and change. And the story is not over. So though things may look different tomorrow than what they were yesterday, I'm excited to continue this journey together. And as you hear this update, thank you. Thank you for all your ongoing support, for your friendship, for your partnership together. Welcome everyone. My name is Ben. I'm the Executive Director of Sozo International. And with me is Jeff, our Global Operations Director. I want to begin by just saying thank you for the care that you're expressing, even just watching this, in the way that you want to stand with our friends in Afghanistan. Because by now we have all heard of the horrible, tragic news that's coming out of Afghanistan these last several days. We want to do our part to try to keep you up to date on what's happening, as well as ways that you can help. I will say, though, we would ask for your grace as news is constantly changing. And even from the time that we record this to the time that you watch it, I'm sure there's things that are out of date. So thanks for your grace as we walk through that. Real quick, Jeff, I want to assume also that there might be some people watching who are a little bit newer to Sozo International. Can you just take a few seconds and briefly explain who is Sozo and the work that we've been doing in Afghanistan?
Yeah. Sozo is a US-based nonprofit, and we are officially registered as an NGO in Afghanistan. And we've been there working to be a catalyst for hope and change for nearly 20 years. Through education-based development programs and humanitarian aid, we strive to provide meaningful, holistic care to create a better future for those we serve and also for their families.
Yeah, I love that idea of a catalyst for hope and change. And one of the really wonderful, unique things about Sozo is that actually all of our programs are led by and implemented by nationals, by Afghans. Now that means that they're all still there. They're in Kabul. And that begs the question, Jeff, like how are they doing? As we've talked to them, what's the sense that you've picked up on?
They're scared.
Yep.
That's the short answer. Unsure of what's next. Some of them feel a lot of desperation. But as of right now, they're all safe, which we're really thankful for. And for the most part, they're sheltering in place at home and just waiting for clarity about what things will look like even in the near term. Right now, they're just afraid for their safety and also for their future.
Yeah, which is a very understandable response. And on the idea of future, is there any way to gauge over these next weeks and months what might happen with our Sozo staff and programs specifically?
There's a lot of uncertainty. There's talk that some things in Kabul might start to open back up on Saturday, just a couple days from now. And whether it's then or at a later time, everybody's just waiting to see how things unfold, what changes there are going to be, what instructions they get from the new government. Right now, there are a lot of questions that we have, and we're wondering things like, will foreign NGOs even be able to operate?
Sure.
If they do, are our staff going to be safe? Will women be able to work? Will they be able to study? And so those and lots of others, we just don't know. There are a lot of unknowns. But I want to say a couple things clearly. First off, we remain committed to our staff, and we will keep doing everything that we can to care for them and to support them during just a really, really hard time for them. And second, we remain committed to Afghanistan and to Afghans. Sozo wasn't called to Afghanistan because the Taliban were out of power, and so Sozo hasn't stopped being called to serve Afghans just because the Taliban are back in charge. We may or may not have to adjust what we do and kind of how we operate, but our heart for Afghans and our commitment to serve them is as strong as ever.
Yeah, those are a good word and powerful sentiment. And I know that's a sentiment that you share. Just the fact you're watching this reflects that you do care. And so we actually have been working really hard as a team these last few days to put together some meaningful, tangible, impactful ways to help. And we want to end by just sharing those with you briefly. First of all, you can actually send a note of encouragement to our staff. You can write an email to info@sozointernational.org. And we will forward that on to our staff. And I know that they are incredibly encouraged by that. Second, stay up to date. Like we've said, things are fluid and changing all the time. So if you would like shorter but more frequent updates, you can actually send a text. Text the word Sozo, S-O-Z-O, to the phone number 833-477-1044.
We would also ask you to pray. There are so many things that we can't do. We just can't do right now. But the one thing we can do, or one of the things that we can do, is maybe the most important thing of all, and that's we can pray for Afghanistan, for the people there. And we would just ask you to do that, especially for the people who are most in danger. We would pray that you would ask God for clarity for us as an organization, for other NGOs who are just trying to figure out how to respond to all that's happening and all the changes that are coming about. And also pray for the thousands of internally displaced people who have fled their homes with nothing in the world other than maybe the clothes on their backs for a lot of them. And pray also for opportunities to serve them. And then finally, we would ask you to give. We've created the Sozo Emergency Relief and Rescue Fund, and that will potentially go towards a number of things: supporting our staff, serving some of those internally displaced people or refugees outside of the country, or providing assistance to a very small and specific demographic of people who are at a very high risk. So you can go to sozointernational.org if you'd like to be a part of that.
Yeah, that's great. So again, if you find yourself in the position where you're hearing about these things, wondering what you can do, go to our webpage and you can find some tangible ways to take action. I want to end by again just saying thank you. Thank you for caring, and thank you for your love and support for our friends in Afghanistan.